Hello and welcome. What vlog number are we on now? 20 or 21? I don't know offhand. But it is Sunday, February 1st. Of course, my schedule that I had planned for today is already getting mixed up in many different ways. So I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do today. A lot of it's going to happen tomorrow, which was going to be the day that I did my big video for my main channel, which I'm going to do, I think, still tomorrow as well, but we'll see. Otherwise, I can do it Tuesday. I can move things around. But I did get another shelf in. That's here. So these are the two I had here. This is the one I brought in, and then we also got a big one as well. I'll show you that in a minute. I have to move a lot of stuff in order to get that into where I want it anyway, so I was going to do that today, but now I don't have time. Well, I might have time later. We'll see. But for now, I just wanted to show you I got the shelf here. I'll show you the big one and start kind of, moving things around. It's still not going to be perfect because I have one shelf over there, which some of this stuff is going to go over there, but I only have one, so I can't put everything on there right now. And also, from now on, I think we're only going to be able to get one in my van from now on, so each week it's going to be one shelf is coming, not two, so it's going to be a slow process. So let me show you that shelf and then we'll talk a little more. And I know my washer is going again, sorry. Alright, this is the bigger one. You can see it's taller than me. So that's either going to go, like I said, here. I mean, can you see? You can barely see where you're standing here. There's this little nook here. As you can see, we have this white table that was supposed to get put in the dumpster when we moved in, but, we had to keep it for some reason. Don't get me started. Anyway, we're going to be getting rid of that somehow. And there's a nook here, and actually, let me measure this real quick. I know I did this last time, but I don't remember what it was. I'm pretty sure it's still going to be more than because there's one really wide shelf over here, because I can't. Yeah, it's still wider than that shelf. It's like 54 here. That shelf is 48 inches wide. The rest of these are 36 inches wide. Even the taller one. That's the same width. There's a taller one that is wider as well, one of them. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to get that in the van. We'll see. But I was thinking of putting that one here, and that one would be more towards, that side anyway, to do more like household storage. And then putting the rest of them next to it. Now, I guess 54 minus 48 is 6 inches, right? So then like another 30 here. That would be like here. Okay. And then another 36 for the next one. It's 2. 2 of the small, like the thinner, the less wide. Thin, I guess, ones. Okay, so that's like here. This is very conventional here. So this is 3. And still get here, because otherwise if I put them here, first of all, they're going to stick out a little more anyway. And we have this pole here. You can't see it right now. There's a pole here. There's a pole here. So, like if I put them here, it'd be hard to get in between here and get stuff off the shelf and stuff. So I think we're going to use the nook, like I said. I'm hoping we can get that big wide one in here eventually. That'll probably be the last one we bring up anyway. So, in there. And then I should have room for 4 of these, which is what is left. 4 of those. There is one in the garage, but I said before I don't want that one because it's all full of like chemicals and stuff. I'm not going to bother with that one. That can stay in the garage for the new owner. But these I think we can fit 4 of these and then the big one, including the nook there. So that's what I plan on doing, because I said it's like 54. I can leave enough room for that 48-inch one and then have like 6 inches of this behind the nook. And we can put that one there, but I'm not going to be doing that right now, like I said, so that's probably what I'm going to do with it. And then we can start filling these up with this kind of stuff that's going to go here. And Like again, the unfinished projects are going to go there as well. I think that's what I decided on, but you know, it may change. We'll see. But then I can start bringing some of the vendor stuff over there because that's what's going to go over there and whatnot. So I don't know if I'm going to start now. I might wait because, like I said, it's a long story. First of all right, I'll tell you. I'll try to shorten it. My parents, my husband goes and visits his mother on Sundays normally, and that's when I get like a big chunk of time on Sunday to get some stuff done before like the week. Well, that was supposed to happen. He's there now, but while that was happening, I was invited to go out with my parents, which I haven't seen them in a while, and my sister. So I'm gonna go to that, and we're also celebrating my dad's sister, my aunt, who died last year. It's her birthday today, so we're celebrating, you know, that. That's why we're going out. So, going. And I don't know when that's happening because the time has changed now. That's why I'm like, I don't know if I should do anything. But then also, my husband's probably coming back here because there's a timing issue there too with his parents. I mean, his mother. So he might be going back there later. So hopefully by the time he's back there later, I'm back from lunch or whatever, and I can start working on stuff for a little bit. But we'll see. Anyway, see you later. All right, I'm back from lunch, brunch, whatever it was. So we're going to start working on some of this now. See what we can finish today. Maybe there'll be some tomorrow as well. Otherwise, we'll probably, either way, probably have another planning thing at the end of this video. So whether that's tomorrow or, you know, whenever. So let's get started. Quick update before I start. I got this bigger shelf kind of in an area where it's going to be, it may shift, you know, over time, but I can't measure it out right now. I still have, like, there's still a bunch of crap that eventually is going to get moved so I can put shelves, but right now, I don't have time right now, and let's just say I don't have time, but there's other things too. But anyway, so I got this in where it's supposed to be now, so I have both the shelves. I can start filling them. I'm going to film both shelves at the same time and switch between them on the video, which again, normally I don't do on this channel. It's more editing than I should do, but it's fine. And then we'll reconvene after it's done and see how it goes. Like I said, we'll see how much I get done today. It might be tomorrow that we do that, but let's see. Anyway. So I cleared off this area that had all the vendor stuff. That's now over there. We'll get to that in a minute. Some more vendor stuff over here. I put that over there. And then I put this over here for now. I actually have 2 of these, and one of them I think is going to go in my vendor stuff, but the other might be the whole tools over here somewhere. But we'll see. Like I said, we still have to go through these drawers and put stuff in. That's going to be when I work on this. That's not happening today. I don't think it's happening on this video either. Probably maybe next video. Maybe. Let's see. But I'm glad I got that cleared off, at least. I don't want to start cluttering it up with stuff again, maybe temporarily, but you know, I don't want to do that. But I don't have enough shelves here yet either, so trying to work through my stuff. Got 1 empty tote so far from the wood stuff, and I have more to go. As far as the wood stuff, let's talk about that next. So this is the shelf here that I just did. You saw me do. Let me back you up a little. I didn't mention this in this video, but don't mind the mess back there. That's all personal stuff. We're not dealing with that right now. Well, it's mostly personal stuff. But anyway, started filling this up. Started trying to categorize them as well. But I'm going to have more shelves eventually, so they're not all going to be on the shelf anyway, but these are all my trays and boxes. And I have more American flags somewhere. I don't know where they are right now. They're maybe stacked up on there. This was the stuff I had on that shelf temporarily. Like, some of it's blank, some of it needs to get redone. I haven't had to sort through that still. But, you know, I'm starting to put that kind of stuff here. And largely that's what's going to go on these shelves, is my unfinished projects and, like, you know, categorize, and then I can start working on them. It might end up being sometimes, like, once I get stuff done, then finished projects might go on like one shelf, and then the rest of them unfinished or whatever like that. I'll probably keep moving things around as time goes on, but for right now this is a good idea. I got a lot of unfinished stuff, so it's a good stuff, good, like, you know, use of the many shelves that are here. So, well, will be here. Anyway, so that's that so far. Doing well. And then I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. I might have to see. Can I zoom you out? I think I zoomed you out as much as I can. The other tripod here still too. Right. Well, you can kind of see most of it, so I'm going to kind of go over it. This isn't done yet either. Like I said, some of it still has to go over there. Some of it still has to get moved around. But I started getting mostly vendor stuff on this shelf. So I was so glad these fit perfectly the way I had them. It was great. These fit almost perfectly, but actually they are kind of perfect because there's an outlet right there in case I want to use it for something. So that's good. But this is all like display stuff for my events. And right now, I'm not using them often, but though there might be a time where I am, so it might shift a little bit. But right now, like when I'm not using them, it's a nice compact use, you know. Still have the bags here that I had last time, the paper bags, which I'm eventually going to paint and try to sell as well. And the wine bags, those are probably going to get embroidered actually. But for now they're there, that's fine. I didn't go through this tote yet. I don't know if you can see this either. I have one of those blue collapsible totes. It's got a bunch of vendor stuff in it, a lot of small stuff. I didn't want to go through it right now, so I just put the tote on the shelf for now. We're going to do that at some point. I have more vendor stuff down at the bottom as well. Can't really see, but that's fine. This is actually vendor too. I guess I should move this over a little. Didn't technically go through that either. I do have another one of these over there that's full of stuff right now. Got to go through it, but I have 3 of those, so that'll be over here too. Like, you know, most of my stuff is white because all my fabric stuff is blue and all my like display stuff is white basically. So in fact I might paint these to be a little more white than they are. If I even use them. I'm not even sure if I'm using them. Let's see. But that's, you know, pretty much there. This is also vendor stuff here. This is my packaging container that I take with me to events. It goes in my checkout area. And there's other, like, this is checkout area stuff, but this is like card holders and stuff like that I might use or use for whatever else. So that's in there for now. I have to kind of go through that stuff. I have my ArtVend tokens. My keys are in here. Still have my, these are the things that used to go in my vending machine, but we're gonna be revamping that at some point. talk about that when that comes along, but that's not now. Speaking of my vending machine, I was like, oh, I don't know. It's not going to fit on these shelves. Not straight up. I'd have to like lay it down, which I don't really want to do. So I could just put it next to it on this side or this side. Or find another place where maybe I can put it on the shelves that I have on the opposite over here. And maybe I don't want to put it over there. So it'll go somewhere over here. I'm not sure yet. That's up. No, it's not upstairs. It's over there, but it's not on the table. So I haven't grabbed it. I haven't even thought of grabbing it, you know. So, but I know where it is. That needs a touch up of paint at some point too. So that's a whole other project. But the rest of this is like stain, sandpaper, stuff to work with wood. I think I'm still going to keep that stuff over here. It'll probably be more on this shelf eventually. It's the far one, or the close one when you're coming in. I also need to keep moving these around because these aren't quite where they're supposed to be. Like this is moving a little. I'll work on that later. But yeah, I could just like screw them together. I don't know if I want to do that though. That kind of stuff. I have my fabric over here right now. I don't think that's staying here. It might. I don't know. That's a whole other ball game. I haven't even started sewing, so I don't even know what I want to do with that stuff yet. So right now it's in these boxes because the fabric came from my in-laws' house too. My mother-in-law used to do quilting, so she has fabric for that. But I'm not planning on doing that myself, quilting. Maybe a little bit, but not like actually making a quilt, you know. So. But I do have fabric that I can use. So that's all here. And I had other fabric that I had too that I put in there from other projects and stuff. And I have some more stuff that's in that category too. But anyway, that's there for now. I don't think that's staying there. Here I have my finished products, which isn't very many, that I'm keeping from last year. And even some of these I'm not even sure if I'm keeping them. But I have to go through them at some point right now. And this is all like holiday stuff here, which isn't going to get used till the end of the year. So this is all the stuff I have right now that I can sell. That's where that is for now. I think that stuff will stay over here. Because, you know, I have my vendor display stuff and my vendor stuff, you know, here that I can just grab all together when it's time to do vendor events. Which it isn't yet, thank God. But anyway, that's how this is going so far. I think I'm going to call it here for today because I do have more preparation I need to do for the video I'm making tomorrow for my main channel about my vendor events from last year. I started making like a PowerPoint and stuff. I have to kind of still go through it and figure out. I have an outline, but I have to figure out what I'm going to say and stuff because again, I want that to be more polished and put together than me rambling on like I do on this channel. So that's why I separated them. I made a different channel. So, I think I'm good for now. We'll work on it more possibly tomorrow if I'm done filming that video. Otherwise, I will do a planning exercise at the very least on here. And even if I work more on this, I might still do that too. So, because this probably isn't going to be very long. So, good for now. See you tomorrow.
All right, it is Monday, February 2nd, Groundhog Day. But anyway, like I said, my whole week is already starting to get messed up. I decided that I'm not going to be filming that recap video. Well, the one I'm going to show, I'm showing you the unfinished version here of the presentation. I'm going to get to this in a minute. But I just wanted to say that I'm not going to be filming this recap video yet because obviously I'm not ready yet. And this video, as you know, is coming out Thursday, not Tuesday. Because, you know, originally I was going to try to squeeze in like the chalkboard murals, which I'm going to do that at some point this week, I think, because I'm not doing this. But I can do it today, obviously, and it's not going to be ready for the video Tuesday. So again, this video is going to come out Thursday. So far, we've done the shelves downstairs. I'm going to show you some of this. We're going to do some planning exercises, and that'll be the video that comes out Thursday. And then when I do the chalk mural stuff, that's going to come out Saturday. And maybe some more planning stuff on there as well. So a little bit of a shift. Going to be doing the recap video the next week, like I said. That's my plan. Also, so on my main channel, I think if I'm able to do it, and I should be because I found my Apple Pencil. I think I mentioned that in the last video. I was missing my Apple Pencil. Found it. So now I can make Procreate videos. So that's another thing that I'm going to film this week. I'm going to try to film at least a couple of those, along with the chalk murals, at least a couple of those, so I have those in the bank, like I said. So anyway, wanted to update on that. Now I wanted to also go over real quick here my presentation so far for the recap video that I'm doing. We're just going to kind of go through it a little bit. It's not done, like I said, and like I've been working on it here and there. I just haven't had a chance to actually get to the point where I'm ready to film, so that's why I'm delaying it to next week. So and my Sunday got all messed up, as you know. Everything should be fine next week so far. But yeah, let's go through the presentation. So I may, fix this a little bit, this title thing. It's just kind of there for now. But I'm giving you kind of my outline so far and what I have on here. So I'm going to be explaining the YouTube series that I have, and this is the one that I have on my main channel, which is at Shrush Design. This is Shrush Design Business Vlogs. That one's just Shrush Design. It's my original main channel. And I have a series on there about my vendor events that I've been doing this year. And I forget what number episode this is up to. Actually, this one that I'm making here, this recap one, isn't going to have a number, but I'm actually going to put it on as my first video in the playlist, which is kind of weird, I know, but that's what I plan on doing. And then having all the other ones in the series come after it. So I'm going to be explaining all that here and showing like which episodes throughout this thing, which episodes correspond to the things I'm talking about. And I'm also going to mention the ones on here, this channel, that are when I started doing this, because I started doing this in the middle of, well, towards the end, but kind of in the middle of my vendor events last year. So I started doing the behind the scenes stuff here, for those events. So, and I'm going to continue doing that. But I'm going to be mentioning those as well throughout the thing. So I just wanted to say that. Then I have a slide. I may add more slides to this, obviously, but this one's about like what I am, my business, what do I do, what I sell, like, so people that are watching this video, know that, well, I don't sell that, so maybe things aren't going to be exactly the same for me and stuff like that. So that's what I want to kind of point out on here. Then I'm going to talk briefly about my prior events. I don't want to go into too much detail about this because, first of all, I did already on another video, but also, like, this isn't what this is about. This is just prior events. I'm probably going to add a slide here, really, really, like, short and sweet, like the problems I was having that I talked about, and then like how I've solved them, or how I'm working on to solve them, or whatever going forward. And that's basically what I'm going to say. Then we're going to talk about like overview of the 2025 events. Right now I did 13 events, 15 total event work days, because I had the one event that's 3 days, and I did them from July to December last year, and that's it. Then I have some graphs coming up, and I showed you these in another video. Actually, some of them are a little different. This is revenue per event, and the next one's kind of similar, except that that first event is the 3-day event. So these three here equal, whoops, went too far, this one. So 46 for the whole event, but then broken down by day, it was 23, 8, and 15. So, and then the rest of it's the same. But that's revenue, not profit. Then I did like a pie chart, which was hours worked per event. So this is that big one, that 3-day one, and all 3 days. In fact, I think actually my 20 number is actually wrong, but I'm just gonna leave it. But that was for, I was mainly counting the ones that where like we were technically open. No, I guess technically open longer, but the ones where like there was no customers for a few hours towards the end, I didn't even bother putting in there. That's why I got the 20, I think. But I was there technically a little longer. But anyway, that one's the only one that's a little iffy, but the rest of them should be pretty accurate. And when I go through the events one by one, which I'm going to do, I have on there like actual hours worked, which I think might have to change the New Berlin, this one that I'm talking about, the 21, a little bit on that slide when I get there, but that's that. So then I have hours worked here, but then I have revenue per hour then. So that 20-hour event, I only made $46, so in the end, with the 20, it was only $2.30 per hour that I made there, you know? So it's kind of just a way to kind of look at like how worth it things were or whatever, and different factors that go into it. Then my next graph is the highest hourly sales per event. And obviously throughout this I had 2 events that I had absolutely nothing at here. But the rest of them, like even my not so great events, like I had certain hours that were pretty good in most of them. So, except for these. But and this one maybe. Like, oh, in fact it was at this one I started measuring it. Because I'm like, oh, I got my best. Not only did I beat my daily sales record and per event, because again, this one is 3 different days. So this one was, but when I did this one, I beat both my daily and per event, but I wasn't measuring the hourly necessarily at this one, but I did beat that too. But I didn't even think about that at that point. But then when I did this one, I'm like, wow, 39 an hour. I'm pretty sure I never did that before. And I went back and looked and I'm like, yep, okay, so that's my hourly goal. So I started tracking my hourly, like how much I made per hour or whatever, or in a certain hour. And this is from like on the hour to the next hour. Like, so it's like 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. or like 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Like that's how it's measured. Not necessarily like the highest 60 minutes, you know. I haven't gone through and analyzed the data that hard, but you know, I might have a different answer then maybe. But I didn't want to go through that. So, but anyway, so I started measuring, and something I still want to do coming up this year is measure my greatest hour at my events as well. So I wanted to make a graph about it. So I did. Then I have a blank one for now, but so then I started going through each event, talking about like the facts of it, and then the like financial figures stuff here. And then I have, for the ones that I made money at, well, this one's a little different because I have 3 graphs because it's per day, but I break down, you know, the scheduled time I was there that day, the actual time I was there, and then the daily revenue I got, and then the highest hourly revenue at each day / each event. So the first day obviously was the best one, which was kind of weird because I thought it would be more busy on Friday and Saturday that year, but it wasn't. Well, it was overall at the festival, but not at my event, my part of the event. But that's part of my analysis. We're going to talk about that, you know, on the video. And when that video is done, I will link it down in the description and everything because I talked about it here, but it's not ready yet. I didn't film it yet. So, but anyway, so I go through all my events and I do facts, figures, graphs. This is one that I didn't make any money at, but I still have the facts and figures, but I don't have a graph because I didn't make any money. And then, you know, I keep going through the events. I'm not going to talk about all this on this one, just to mention what I'm doing. And then this one I also didn't make any money at, so I don't have a graph for that one. This one is backwards. I have to bring this up here. And then my graph. This is that private event I did. Real easy to get a profit here because I didn't have a fee. So, and then I only had 2 hours that I worked. And only one of them I made money. But anyway, keep going through. This was my really good event here that I had. And then my graph for that, where I broke the hourly sales record here, and then here again, like the next hour. And then things went downhill. But at least I made some money at those. That's good. So I saved the profit per event towards the end of this. It's going to be part of my analysis. So here's the graph with my profit. I showed you this before, like I said, not on this video, but either the last one or the one before that. I think it was the one before that. But anyway, this is how as far as vendor events go, this is how, my year went. Everything orange is like, this is the baseline of 0 up here. And I started losing money at all of the events, and then I started gaining a little back, then I lost a bunch on that event, and that event is, I should make a graph without this in here and see what it would have been, because this was kind of a surprise to me. See, as part of my analysis that I'm doing. I had forgotten that I applied for that event, and they added me at the last minute, and they took my $100 fee, which I wasn't expecting, and I was like, oh crap, I hope I have enough money in there for that. And then, then I had to like prepare for that event, and then I ended up not selling very much. So I forget what the loss was exactly for that one. I guess I could look back at it. It's not too far. Loss of 80. Looking on the side here. So, it says here, but I guess I could look there. It's a little small on my screen. Sorry. So I only made 20, and so without that, I wonder kind of what the total would be. I guess I'm going to do that in my analysis now that I'm going through this. It's another thing I'll write down as a note. But anyway, I don't have anything for analysis yet. That's just there. Still need to improve for 2026, and then kind of looking ahead, which events am I planning on doing and what I plan to do for each of those events and that kind of thing. So that's what I'm planning as far as that video goes. I'm still working on, getting all the data in here and everything, and then making myself a nice solid presentation where I'm not rambling on like I do here. So I just wanted to show that. Hello, it's Wednesday, February 4th. Going to continue this video. Actually have a change of plans a little bit. We'll get to that. It's not too bad. But something happened this morning. Not making it sound worse than it is. Something happened this morning that altered, my plans. So we're going to be doing a planning exercise like I said, but it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be doing something else than I originally planned. And it's a good thing because now we have more stuff to fill our time with here and something that's a focused goal for a while. But like there's something like in the near future that I can work towards, All right, so I guess I'll just say what it is. I got an email this morning from Kohl's corporate office. If you remember, I don't remember which vlog number it was, but one of the earlier ones, and I was talking about it like in a bunch of them before it happened. I got invited to a private event at the Kohl's corporate campus for their associates, that's what they're called, to shop for the holidays, which made sense, Now it's not the holidays, but I actually think I'm going to do better at this one, but I might be wrong, but we'll see. I'll get to that in a minute. Spoiler alert, I'm doing it. That's what I'm talking about. But so I got the email this morning, and the event is 3 weeks from today. So 3 weeks from now, Wednesday, the 25th, February. There's a date that's March 4th, if like it's the next week, if there's weather problems or whatever. It makes it hard to park and whatnot, I think. Because it's not outside, it's inside. If it was outside, I hope they have heated tents for us. So that's when it is. And when I first got the email, I was like, good. When is their next one? And I was thinking, even before I got the email, because I assumed they were going to be doing more. They kind of said they were going to be or whatever. And I assumed it was probably going to be like spring. Nope, it's winter, February. And I'm like, okay. And they gave me 3 weeks notice. I didn't have to do it, but because in fact, initially after I looked at everything, I was like, I don't know if I could do it. It's too soon. I don't think I'm going to be ready. And then I looked at it again, and I'm like, well, because it's a $0 fee again, because it was last time. Like, I don't have to pay anything to be there. So anything I do make is pure profit. Last time I made $18. I assume I'm making more this time, and we'll get there. But we'll see how that goes, but I think I'm going to make more. I have the potential to make more, I think. We'll see. Guess it kind of depends on how this one goes, if I do any more with that again. Because last time I was like, I don't know, it was only $18. But holidays can be, as I noticed, because this is the first holiday season I did was last year. And I always heard that holiday seasons when things start popping and, you know, you make a lot of sales because people are buying gifts and stuff. And it wasn't really that way except for one event that I had. The rest of them were very disappointing. And I'm like, and I tried to like pack my schedule with holiday events because I thought, oh, it's my chance to make money, you know? Wasn't really worth it most of the time. But that's also because in a bad economy, you know, which we've been rolling towards for a while, and now it's kind of coming to a head a little bit. Hopefully we pull out, you know, soon. We'll see how that goes. People aren't spending as much, first of all, but they're also being more picky about what they buy. They're not as impulsive, you know, which, again, I don't want people to be buying things from me impulsively, but in a way it kind of hurts me, you know? So, plus there's so much other competition and stuff like that. So it's hard during the holidays. But anyway, I kind of went on a tangent there. That happens. I'm going to be doing this one in the winter. I decided, you know, it's pure profit. So, and I could use some money. Also, with it being my first event, and I'm starting off the year, again, if I do make something, even if I make $18 again, that's starting off the year ahead. So, not like last year, because last year the first event I did was the July 4th event, and I lost $4 in the end on that one. And I started off, you know, $4 in the hole, and the next one, you know, I lost more, and I kept losing for a while, and then I was making a little bit of profit, including at the Kohl's one, and then, you know, went down again, and then I went up a bunch, but not enough, and then down again. That's how last year went. This year, I'm starting off already ahead, you know, and maybe it dips below a little bit, but maybe I can recover, you know. I think I'll be closer to zero this year if I start off strong, you know. So that was kind of like when I reconsidered, I'm like, no, maybe I should do it, you know. And another, like, again, I'm not making any money any otherwise right now with my business. So I'm kind of itching, like, again, you know, also, like, I'm like, I know I said I'm on a break, but I feel like I should be doing something, you know. So, like, I had a bit of a break. I'm good, you know. But I'm going to probably still have a break after this. It depends on when they're doing their next one. I don't know. Because I assumed it was going to be in the spring, like I said. And they're during the week. They're not on the weekend. So I can usually make them. Like, I'm not usually doing anything on the weekdays. So whenever they do their next one, I should be able to do one. Again, assuming this one goes well. But right now, I don't have another one until May. So, you know, I'm still going to have another break after this. Plus, this isn't technically, like, it counts, but it doesn't towards, like, my events, you know, like, it's a private event. It's not something I advertise to the public. It's not something that a bunch of people are going to come to. It's just their associates. So, you know, it's different. So anyway, that was, like, one of the things. I'm like, pure profit again, and I could use some money, and this would be a good boost and blah, blah, blah. Plus, it's only 2 hours like it was last time. So as far as, like, being there and selling things, it's only 2 hours. This setup is actually a little earlier. Last time it was 1:45. This time it's 1:30 that I can set up, which is good because I think I'm going to talk about in a minute, there's differences that make it a little more complicated. But anyway, the event is from 3 to 5 like it was last time. So 1:30 to 3 to set up, and then 3 to 5, and then however long it takes you to leave, you know. So all in all, it'll probably be like 4 hours, maybe. Maybe a little less. So that's not bad. 2 hours. And how I counted it last year was just the like, being there hours. So I could get a good, like, assuming I make some money, a good profit per hour at this event. Last time I didn't really have that great a one because I only made $18 in two hours. So that was $9 per hour. It was all right, but, you know, not much. I don't have goals set technically for this, but I'm kind of shooting for at least 100 at this event. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to make more concrete goals when I get there, like, you know, about the event, when I have more of an idea of what I'm going to have available and stuff like that. So, but that's something we're going to work on, start working on today. But anyway, so there's that. It's only 2 hours. And then also there was something else that factored in where I was like, I should do it. No, I should do it, you know. I don't know. I don't remember what the other thing is. I don't know if it matters. But anyway, so I changed my mind because at first I was like, it's too, I think what the thing was because I was looking at it and I'm like, oh, it's too soon. I don't think I can do it. I don't have enough available. I don't know if I have the time to make stuff. But really if I focus on it, I can make things in 3 weeks. Plus at the time I thought it was 2 weeks and I'm like, and then I looked at the calendar again. I'm like 3 weeks. Maybe I can do it, and then I started being like, yeah, I could use it. I could use the money, So I'm like, all right, I'm doing it. So I signed up to do it. So in 3 weeks, I will be at an event. So we have that to look forward to. We have something tangible to work towards. And I still have this going on in the background, but at the time, like I've been, as you know, like organizing my stuff, trying to get my head organized and stuff, my computer organized, everything. And I'm still working on that. Plus I have to start making videos and I'm going to be doing that too. For my other channels talking about. But, now I have something where I have an actual, because otherwise, again, my next event is in May that I know of so far. And that's months from now. It's like, well, I could start working on vendor stuff, but I don't necessarily have to. But now that I'm doing one, now I have to start working on vendor stuff and I'll be more prepared for my actual events later, because I'll have inventory started and, I'll be more organized. It's not going to be perfect at this event. It's only 3 weeks away. Like I have bigger plans for like those events. Plus most of those are outside, which is a whole different ball game. But the other thing I'll say, let me finish saying this first. But I'll have more stuff, ready. I'll be more organized in my mind about how those events are going to go because I'm doing an event already and I haven't done one for a while and I'm kind of out of the loop, But it's also like I said, after this one, it's the end of February. It might be the next week in March, depending on the weather. But then that's still like 2 months away, like a little over 2 months. So I'm going to have a bunch of time, but maybe it'll help me focus on the things that need to get done then, because then I'll have everything else done by then. I don't know. I got a lot to say. But anyway, what I was going to say is I'm a little iffy on the directions here, but the email said, and this was different because I went back and looked at my email last time and it didn't say anything about this. So I think I know what this means. I think I know what it sounds like. It's just not clear. I think they're saying that I can bring my canopy and set it up in their auditorium, which I think is going to be a bigger auditorium this time because last time we were in like the smaller one. Because you're not going to fit tents in there, especially because they were saying that they were going to have more vendors, like they're expanding. I'm like, I think they're going to a bigger auditorium. I think. So they said tents, pop-up tents are encouraged but not necessary. But they don't give the size of the booth. So I'm assuming that means a standard 10 by 10 canopy tent that, we usually use at these kind of things. But they weren't very clear about that. So I'm like, I think I'm allowed to bring my tent, which means I have 10 by 10 space. They're going to give me a 6-foot table like they did last time. But last time it was only a table space. This time they're like, oh, you can bring a tent. So I think that means I get 10 by 10 space and I'll use one of their tables in it. And then I'll bring whatever else I want to bring. Like normal, So first of all, whether I had my tent or not, I'm like, I'm not bringing my pegboard this time. It was too much, especially for a 2-hour event. And I have a few door hangers ready. I have a few more that I want to make. Plus, I do want to make more of those this year because they were occasionally a good seller. And I want to focus more on ones that are more attractive, I guess. I think I have a better idea of what that is. I have some that I need to sand off and redo, and then I want to buy more so that I can paint. So hopefully, but that's something I want to focus on. We're going to talk about that. I want to at least get some done anyway for the rest of my events. So even if they don't sell at this one, I'll have them for my other events and I'll have them ready, But anyway, that's one of the things. But I don't want to do too many, not yet. But I was going to say whether or not I had my tent, and even if it's a table space again, which I'm not sure, it shouldn't be. if they're talking about tents, but I don't know. I wasn't going to bring my pegboard because it's too much. And I think I haven't talked to my husband yet about this because he's at work now. And I probably could have waited to talk to him, but I couldn't. I was like, I got to answer right now. So I did. I think I'm going to be doing this myself because for him to help me, he would have to take off work, which he could do. He has days to take off as long as he's not doing anything like important that day or whatever. I don't really want to ask him to do that, but we'll see what happens. He might offer. I can do it myself. Because even if I do bring my tent, it's just going to be the frame. I'm not putting the top on. I'm not putting the sidewalls up. It's just the frame. So I could do that myself. Plus, if I had trouble, I'm sure I could find another vendor to, hey, can you help me at this real quick? You know, can you pull the corner out real quick on my tent? You know, but I'm able to do it myself. I've done it before. So I think I'm doing it myself is what I'm saying. But my husband might help me if he takes off work that day. It's a Wednesday, and normally on Wednesdays we go out with his mother to do to just get her out of the place she's in, to go out to eat. You know, we usually do that on Wednesdays, so we could always reschedule it to Tuesday or Thursday, or we could just skip that week. If I just go, they can go without me. That's fine, you know. But if we're both going, then we're gonna have to either reschedule or just skip it, because it's like that's the day we normally do that. So I don't know. We'll see if he helps. Like I said, I can do it without him. It would be nice to have him there. But it's on that note too. It's only 2 hours, so it's not like he's gonna be sitting there bored for like a whole event. Like I had him come to one of my other events, that the night market one last year, and it was very apparent he was bored, and he did help out a bit too, but I don't want to burden him with that. He's not that type of person. So, but it's only 2 hours this time, so I think he could possibly stick it out. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with this one. Because it would be kind of a waste for him to help me set up and then leave and then come back, So we'll see on that front. But anyway, I think I have a 10 by 10 space with a tent, which if that's the case, and I think it is, it'll help me start getting that set up again, like the layout I want to do. So I'm going to assume for my planning purposes now that it's that way, and if it changes, then I'll adjust. But again, I think that's what that means. Like, you can bring a tent, so you have 10 by 10 space. So I think that's all I had to say as far as that goes, and then I'm going to do some planning with you, like I said. So what I'm going to do next, I'm not going to do this on camera. I'm going to go downstairs to, my area. Thankfully, I'm semi-organized down there now, I'm almost all, and by the time of this event, I should be organized fully. Like, I'll have all the shelves, I think, or most of them at least. So I'm going to go down there and kind of I wanted to do this anyway, make a list of what I have already done, like the few things that I have that are done, that I'm going to plan on taking with me to this event. Then I'm going to go and say, okay, how many of these do I have, like the door hangers? How many of each size do I have? What do I have to do? Like, some of them I have to sand, some of them are blank. I have one blank one. But that one I was going to use for my mother-in-law, and I haven't done that yet. And I could, because her birthday's in March, I could give her hers for her birthday and then use that one for now. Or maybe give her one that doesn't sell. I don't know. But anyway, so, but I want to buy a few more anyway, of each size. Then, like, what else am I going to do? Like, figure out what I have done again, and what I have halfway done, or what I have that I could make things for this event, but also kind of looking forward to other events too. But I'm trying to focus on this event first, because I have a few months in between, like I said, to worry about the other ones. And whatever I have left over from this event will be towards the other ones, but then I'll be adding to it. But it's kind of difficult too, because I've never done a winter market. Like, I'm like, what do I sell in the winter? Like, other than what I normally do with signs, which overall, signs are hit or miss with people. Like, there's some people that just don't want like anything with words on it in their house, which, you know, is fine. But like, that's my thing though, you know? Anyway, so I need to go through my inventory and figure out so what I was going to say with that is I wanted to, you know, I have some signs made already that are ready, but then I have other like those wood things that I have with different sizes that I can make signs out of. I don't want to make too many of those, especially not for this event. I do want to eventually sell them all, obviously, but I don't want to focus too much on those because I was focused too much on those last year and they didn't really pan out, you know. They do occasionally. So, but we'll see about all that. Also, another thing that I'm thinking of right now, like these are people who work in a corporate office. I think my smaller square signs would go over well. The only problem is with those, I like to do them both sides, and I'm like, what do I put on both sides? Because I was thinking of maybe stuff they could put like on their desk or whatever, you know, like a little office-y type thing. I guess I could make 2 office-y phrases on it. But anyway, that's a possibility. But then like magnets, I don't know if they have like filing cabinets or something they can stick stuff on, but I wanted to focus on that anyway. I would say stickers, but I'm not sure if I want to like order those yet. Like I'm not quite ready for that. And I don't really have the ability to make them at home. Plus I'd worry about the quality making them at home. I don't know. We're gonna figure this out. So I'm gonna go downstairs and do that. And the other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of brain dump all my stuff out. And I have to actually look through my old notes that I have. And I have like somewhere I have like a list of quotes and stuff that I have to find. It's somewhere in all my crap. I haven't gone through that part yet. So I'm going to find that somewhere so that I can have that and so I can start looking at that and like, okay. Because I want to do also Wisconsin related stuff and I had a list of that kind of stuff too. So that's something I wanted to do anyway. But anyway, I'm going to do a brain dump. And I'm not going to do this on camera because it's going to take too long. But and I'll show you it afterwards. And then what we're going to do is kind of start organizing, okay, what's going to go where or whatever. And I might actually make that part of the next video because I think this is going to be a little too long at this point. So, but we're going to start today and then we're going to continue throughout the weeks. Plus, like on the next video, I still plan on doing my chalk murals and we're going to plan that out, some quotes and stuff. It's kind of related actually. So we'll do that simultaneously. So that'll probably be on the next video. But next time you see me, I'm going to have a list of my inventory and my little brain dump kind of thing. And then we'll go from there and see what we want to do in this video versus the next video. So, all right, let's get started then. All right, I'm down in the basement. Just wanted to quickly go over this with you. My washer is going again. I'm sorry. It's on, I mean. It's making noise. Anyway, so I wanted to go over... Like I have the list of the things I have, which actually is, with including magnets, it's actually like takes up a whole page, so that's nice. So I do have a good chunk so far of stuff that's ready, and that's all over on the other shelf, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I wanted to come over here because this is my unfinished stuff, and I have more unfinished stuff, you know, in the other area as well. But I'm going to show you what I'm planning on using first, and then maybe we'll add to it. Some of these are a little iffy though. It's hard to carry everything because I don't have my tripod down here. Some of these are a little iffy though, like these trays. These are kind of like the last thing I'll do because they're things that could be used like whenever, you know. It's just I don't want to waste time making them because I'm not sure how popular they're going to be. So those are kind of last on my list, but I have those. I have all these boxes too. Those are also kind of not like more towards like these are more last on my list. These are like second last. On the other hand though, I was thinking of doing these for like spring. So, and spring is coming at that point. So to make like little planters, and I was going to like get a few little fake flowers to put in them to show like you could do this or whatever. And it could be something you decorate your office with. So maybe, you know, that's why I was thinking maybe those. Let's start up here, actually. So I'm sorry, I'm not even pointing in the right spot. these 2 door hangers, which are the bigger ones, the 18-inch diameter, they were painted. I want to redo them. There's another 15-inch one that I need to redo. I think I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. That's my plan so far, but you know, plans change, as you know. I have these canvases that I bought last year that I was going to use for like Halloween and the holidays, and I never did it. So now I'm going to make them spring related, like floral stuff. So I have those. Those are just ornaments back there. But actually when I sand these, and again, I'm planning on doing that tomorrow, I'm going to sand these and those and a few other things that I have that need to be sanded, just to do that all together, batch it together, even though I'm not going to use all that stuff now. But I'm planning on doing that. So that's on the list. Now I also have, I didn't technically put these on the list. These small squares, I probably should. I didn't, like I counted some things, but I kind of don't want to spend the time making an actual inventory yet. Like that I'm going to do a different day. But I didn't write these down. But I have these small squares. I think I have more somewhere that are unfinished still. I'm not sure where they are at the moment. Gotta find them. That's probably why I didn't write them down. But I'll write them down briefly. Like I have a bunch of small squares. But the other thing is, so I bought these kind of recently. They were on sale at Menards when I was there one day. And I was like, oh, those might be useful. They are 10 by 10. And they're similar to this, where they're two-sided. And I was thinking at first, like, oh, I'll use them to make a two-sided larger sign. And then I'm like, you know what? If I can do it properly, like, because we have enough saws now, I should be able to cut these into, each one of these into 4 that are the same size as this. These are 5 by 5s. So then I'll have more of the squares. So I think I'm going to use them for that, because I was trying to think practically about like a two-sided 10 by 10 sign, and like I don't think people are going to go for that, you know. And then like I'd have to add a hanger to the back of it and whatnot. So I think these are best for cutting down to be the same size as those. I also have a lot of these circles that I'm not sure what to do with. I might, if I feel like it tomorrow. I started sanding down some of them so they have like a kind of a foot to so they're semicircles, so they have like where they can at least rest, you know, and they won't fall over as easily. But otherwise, I don't know what to do with them. So I didn't write those down, obviously. But I have, okay, here I have stuff I was going to use to make coasters, which I'm going to do. So that's there. I have already the backings and everything for them. There's some bookmarks in here too, which I wrote down. But I have more bookmarks upstairs. I also have these can coolers that I was going to work on last year for the night market, because it was a beer market. And I'm like, oh, I could sell can coolers, and then I never did. So now I have some, you know, that I can make now. And that's, you know, throughout the year. I have more magnet stuff in here, and I think coaster stuff a little bit in there as well. These are ornaments. I'm not going to need those. So I have all that written down. I didn't really go through the other stuff yet on the other side over here. Like I said, this is like the initial thing. And I don't think I'm going to get to everything today, so maybe I'll do more tomorrow. But I'm going to be using a few of these wood signs to make like signs. We're going to figure that out with the quotes and everything. I have, like, there's one unfinished. Here, actually, let me take you closer so you can see better. This, can you see? There. This is unfinished, but I painted the rest of them white that I had. And these are like smaller versions of those frame signs. I was going to use them for the holidays last year, and then, you know, things went haywire. So I'm gonna try to make something out of these. I'm not sure what. There'll be more signs, obviously. Just not sure what I'm going to be doing exactly for those yet, but that's an option. Now, like I said, I plan on, I should really just switch my camera around. This will make it easier. Let me take this off. Hold on. That's better. Anyway, I have that was just boxes. Don't worry about it. I have a pile over here of stuff that I need to redo. So I think when I do my sanding again, and I think that's tomorrow, I'm going to be sanding that stuff too, which again might not be something I use now, especially not the Christmas tree, but I want to get that done all at once, so I just have to sand like one day, you know. Every once in a while I'll do as like a sanding day or whatever. That's what I plan on doing. So that's added to the pile of work that I think I'm doing tomorrow, sanding. So that's that. Then, so yeah, that's, I have these bottles here that I want to do something with. I'm just not sure I'm going to get to them for Kohl's. Probably not is my guess, so I'm not even going to bother writing that down. But here's my vending machine that I was talking about. So we're going to work on revamping that too. Okay, real quick, I stopped this video abruptly because I was planning on doing originally more stuff on it, but it's getting kind of long. So I'm gonna start with that again in the next video. So we'll talk more about it then. So thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.